welcome to my daily discomfort and a little bit of insight on mental health. The reason I go from sauna cold is for my mental health because it's not comfortable. But I want to talk today, while I cool off before I get back in there, about kind of the missing ingredient in mental health, okay? And understand this, that your identity, like what you're worth, who you are, is it runs everything in your life. And almost everyone chooses how they define their identity by accident. And so identity, like, who am I? What am I worth? What am I capable of? Like, am I accepted, worthy, all that. So there's two different ways you can go through life. Either force or power, okay? And when you operate in force, your value and your identity are dependent on your personal performance, like what you can do, can't do, what you can overcome, all that, and or how people are treating you. Do they like you? Do they honor you? Do they accept you? And I would also say this, how institutions, family, church, community, country, how institutions honor you, okay? So if you have something going on in your life that you want to change but can't, you have issues. If you have something going on in your life that other people don't accept you for, then your identity is threatened. If something's going on in your life that the institutions in your life don't accept you for, also huge issue, right? And so there's no peace. And understand this, that when your identity is threatened, it's like you're a drowning person. You got to be very careful in trying to save people who are drowning, because they will do anything to save themselves. Similarly, it's like, why do people have such road rage? Someone cuts them off and then they just shoot the person and they ruin their whole life. It's because however they structured their identity, this person threatened it. And it's like they're drowning and they have to fix it. So you can form your identity and your value based on how you perform, how people treat you, how institutions honor you, or you can form it on something that's bulletproof and doesn't change. For me, I form that on God's unconditional love for me. So if I base my identity on that, then there can be issues in my life that I'm unable to fix. People whose opinion I do care about, who don't like me, and institutions that I'd like to be a part of, which don't accept me, and I can still have peace. And I can move forward. And I'm a powerful person. But what is becoming more and more fashionable these days is to divide everyone up into three categories and to label them as such, or put them in those. And those categories are a victim, a rescuer, or a perpetrator, right? So if there's someone who can't change what's going on in their life, like they can't lose weight, they can't change their sexual preference, they can't change what sex whatever, all this stuff going on, right? Then a certain group of the population will label them as a victim, typically choose themselves as the rescuer, and then we got to find the perpetrator, right? And here's the issue, as one person said, there's this thing called trait agreeableness, where people tend to identify people either as the defenseless baby or as a snake in the grass. And if there was a snake on my property threatening one of my grandbaby, like there's nothing I would not do to eliminate that thing. And so we have this violence in society on the absolute need to accept people no matter what, because people believe, well, if you don't accept them, then they can't have peace and they can't have identity. And that's true if that's where you get your identity, is how people treat you, how institutions honor you, and your own ability to change things. And when we see these people's mental health not improve, then the only thing to do is to double down on the extreme measures and stringent rules that have to be followed to increase the level of acceptance, with the hope that that will bring these people peace and happiness, but it doesn't. It's you're barking up the wrong tree. So, anyways, that's my thought on the main issue on mental health in this country. So, I've seen clients of mine who are unable to eat anything but cottage cheese, and if they go anywhere, need a wheelchair because just a lack of peace and acceptance of themselves. And if they can connect to unconditional love, they go from that to going for hikes, eating whatever they want. That is the key, is to have beautiful peace because you know that your identity is secure and that you simply have value, and then you can be wholehearted in life. Anyways, hope that helps somebody out there.